Well, hello, YouTubers. This is Mitch, soon to be Mitch VSG. I'm starting this video vlog. Oh, fireworks going off outside. It's the first full day, if it's going to be the second day of Ramadan here in the big city of Jakarta, Indonesia, where I live. Um, I probably have a similar story to many of you who may be watching my video. I've struggled for a long time and I can't do it anymore. Um, if you go back to where it all began, I guess that would be the best way to introduce myself. Well, first, let me say my starting height, weight, stats. I guess I'm 6'1", right now sitting at around 315 pounds. That's not my highest. My highest was in 2007. I was around 390 in 2007. I dropped down to 250 in 2008, maybe 249, somewhere in there, before gaining back up to 340 and losing back down to 270 and gaining back up to 320 and losing back to 280 and gaining back to 335. And it's not because of eating massive amounts of food or sugary things. I don't like sugary things. I don't drink sweetened drinks normally. Occasionally, but not with any regularity. I do drink soft drinks, artificially sweetened things like Coke Zero is my weakness. I'm gonna have to give that up with a vertical gastric sleeve. I know that, but I've at this point in life, you go back to when I was 9 years old. I was a big kid. I broke my leg. Popular thing to do with the kid who's hurting is to put something in front of him that's going to make him feel better, and that was food. And I gained about 30, 40 pounds in 2 months, and it all went downhill from there. I went from being a big kid at 140, I was taller than every other kid in my class, up to an obese kid at 180. And at 10 years old, by the time I was probably 12, I was in the mid 200s, 240 to 250. Was up well over 300 pounds in high school, probably 350 by 10th grade. And then I did something dumb that I thought was smart. At the behest of my mom, she with all the best intentions, obviously. Um, One of her friends had lost a bunch of weight drinking protein shakes, and I did that, blending up frozen strawberries and things in them to make a smoothie. And this was in the late 80s before smoothies were in vogue. And I lost down to 225 pounds in less than a year, um, probably 8 months, something like that. Very low calorie, probably less than 1,000 calories a day on my diet. And from there, I kept it off, or at least kept it at the 250 mark for a number of years. But as soon as I went back to eating normally and not being a very active football player, I gained it back and then some. And I've gained and lost over 100 pounds 4 times, including over 140 pounds once. I've gained and lost 50 pounds, an additional probably 4 to 6 times since I was 18. So all totaled, I've gained and lost half a ton, and I just can't. I started dieting again, I guess, in November, and I dropped down to about 280 to 285, 290, somewhere in there, and I got sick from Jakarta. Indonesia's got some dangerous food if you're not careful. I got really bad digestive tract infection, ended up in the hospital for a few days, and within a month I had gained back up to 145 kilos, or I think it was about 335 pounds in late January. So just in a matter of a month, I gained 40 pounds that quickly, and wasn't from eating just ridiculous. I think it goes back to when I was in high school. I destroyed my metabolism uh, through crash dieting, and the only way I've ever been able to lose weight since then has been through crash dieting. If I eat healthy, if I go to a grilled chicken and grilled fish and nothing but steamed vegetables and maybe red rice or brown rice, that sort of thing, I can lose a little bit, maybe 10 pounds, and then my body shuts down and I can't lose any more. And it's not just a plateau. I could keep that same diet for months, and without any kind of stimulants or diet pills to help me, I'm not going to lose a pound. And without really cranking up, and I don't mean walking a mile a day. I mean pushing myself to the point of exhaustion. I can lose weight, but it's very, very difficult. So I got kind of depressed. I started dieting again in February, and I lost 20 pounds, and then it stopped. I plateaued, and I found myself looking at the diet pills again, and the protein shakes started back, and that just hit me. It's going to happen again. The cycle starting over. I'll lose it. I can do it. I know I can lose down to 240 or 250 or somewhere in there. At 250, and again, 250 is a lot of weight for a lot of people. For me, I carry it well. I have about a 36-inch waist at 250, so I do pretty good at that weight. But at the same time, I'm not in shape. I'm not fit at that weight. I can't run for any distance at all. Even though I carry it well, it's still there. So, um, I'm, I was getting depressed thinking about it. I can starve myself painfully hungry. Is how I get if I'm not eating, and um, I can lose the weight. I can get down there, and then what's going to happen is as soon as I switch back off of the liquids onto a regular diet, I'll start gaining, and that sunk in, and I know I can't take stimulant-based diet pills forever. It's not good for me. I know I can't stay on protein shakes forever. It's not good for me. And I began to research a little bit about bariatric surgeries. I looked at of course, the gastric bypass and the lap band. I have an aunt who had a lap band done and was pretty successful with it. Looked at those. Began to look at. We live in Indonesia. I've heard bad things about healthcare here in terms of hospital surgical procedures. So I really didn't look here to begin with. I looked at some of the tourism destinations in Asia, like Singapore and India and Thailand. Those are medical tourism destinations. I looked at those. Taiwan, where we used to live. And what I found was the vertical sleeve gastrectomy ranged in price from about $12,000 to $16,000 compared to America, where it average price is around 20,000, although some places as low as 14 I've seen online. Mexico is around 6,000, I think, and maybe less in some hospitals. But as I read about them, they're kind of an assembly line process, and some people may be comfortable with that. But I read horror stories about people waking up in the OR with half a dozen other people on tables in the room, and that. But again, not knocking it. It's worked for people, and they've had great success with it, and more power to them. They're brave, and I'm sure the sanitation's fine, and the doctors have the endurance to handle that sort of thing. But I just couldn't see myself doing it. Plus, I live in Southeast Asia right now, and I'm not going to be back in the States for another year at least, and at which time I'll have either gained more weight or I'll have starved myself, or it's hard for me to sit anywhere other than the 320 to 330 range. And I decided I need to do something quick, or at least quicker. So I began to search for options here in Indonesia, and what I found was a doctor who trained in Taiwan and worked at a tourism hospital in India doing vertical sleeve gastrectomies. He's a specialist in laparoscopic procedures, and he started the sleep clinic at Graha Kedoya Hospital here in Indonesia. So I looked into that. I got an appointment to meet with the doctor, and he filled me in on his costs, which were phenomenally low. I mean, just mind-bogglingly inexpensive here for the procedure compared to what I've seen in other places. Literally, the procedure here to get it done is cheaper than what the copay would be if I had insurance in America and was having it done. So I began to investigate it more seriously. I went for a upper laparoscopy to have my stomach checked for any conditions or anything they needed to repair before the surgery. Found an ulcer, gave me some meds for that. Felt a lot better afterwards. Didn't even know I had it, but they got me patched up. The laparoscopy was the smoothest procedure I've ever had done in a hospital. I was literally put to sleep and back awake before I knew that I'd even been asleep. It was really amazing and very comfortable, very professional. So it made me feel a lot more comfortable about the hospital and the doctors. And so I scheduled it. My surgery date is June the 17th, which is about 11 days away. So 11 days from now, I'll be having the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And I thought I should do a before video, and that's kind of what this is. In January, as I said, I was around 335. Now I'm around 315 to 320. I was down to 310 after a couple weeks of liquid dieting as a pre-op diet that was self-imposed. They didn't tell me to do that. They actually said because my BMI is less than 50, they don't require the pre-op diet like some doctors do, some hospitals do. So, they told me if I wanted to do it, it wouldn't hurt. It'd be a good jump start, but not absolutely necessary. So I stayed on it for a couple weeks, lost down to 310. I got tired of eating protein shakes and nothing else, in light of the fact that I'm fixing to go on liquids for a while and then have to go through the whole process of dealing with the fallout from the procedure. That I decided I might ought to just go ahead and eat some before I actually have it done. So for the past week, I've actually eaten most of pretty much what I wanted. Although again, I don't eat that much normally. And although I did discover when I was on the liquids that I'm addicted to food. It's not something you think about. Um, Even when I was on my liquid diets before, more recently in 2007, 2008, I would have at least one good meal a day. It might not be anything other than hot pockets and kimchi, but I would have that. And I discovered that liquids and nothing but liquids, I begin to have really withdrawals from no food. So, not having the ghrelin hormone will be helpful. And hopefully I'll quit hurting, because when I get hunger pains, it literally hurts. Um, I drink a lot of liquids, drink a lot of water. Um, Even though I do drink diet sodas, I drink a lot more water. It's not unusual for me to drink a gallon or more of water a day. They say, you drink water, you lose weight. I drink a gallon a day, and that doesn't cause me to lose weight. I have drank as much as 2 gallons in a day, just seeing if I could, not forcing myself, just having water whenever I felt like it. Um, so now I'm 10 days away, or 11 days away, and it's a little bit scary having a serious medical procedure like this done in Indonesia, but at the same time, I'm comfortable with my doctor. I'm comfortable with the hospital. He told me he'd done about 80 some odd of these procedures specifically. I know that's not that many, but it's enough to be experienced doing it. He's done other procedures, bypasses, and lab bands in higher quantity, higher numbers. But he has the equipment, the specialized stapling tool, and he does laparoscopic procedures quite regularly. He does, things like appendectomies and other procedures where laparoscopic surgeons are required. So that's what he does. So I'm thinking that he should be capable of doing the procedure. Um, it's it's time. After 20 plus years of fighting this, 25 years, really 30 years, 32 years of dealing with it. My knees hurt, my back hurts. I get tired all the time. One of my friends said, you won't be able to eat anything afterwards. You're gonna have any energy? I'm a teacher, so you're gonna have to, at a Christian school, you're gonna have the energy to handle the kids. Well, I don't have any energy now, so it can't be any worse than that. Um, I want to sleep all the time. It's not just being depressed about the weight. It's just I'm tired. My body's tired. When I went in for the laparoscopy, they checked my blood pressure. It was 120 over 80. All my blood sugar levels and everything was normal. So I'm pretty lucky considering I've carried this weight for so long. It's pretty amazing that I haven't developed any serious health conditions. I see people's videos I've watched. If you're watching my video and you're a YouTuber yourself and you've got videos of your journey, um, I've probably watched your videos already because I've watched literally hundreds of videos on YouTube, and I thought that it might be helpful for me to journal and do my own videos. I'm not comfortable normally in front of a camera. When the camera cuts on, I hide. Um, and I've watched videos of other people who had the same concerns, the same issues, the same problem that I have. And if you guys can do it, I can do it. If you guys can, and I know it's a tool. It's not a magic bullet. I know that. I've heard all of you say that. Um, but if you can get in front of the camera, if you can go through the journey, if you can do the lifestyle change that it mandates that you do, then I can do it. I don't, I won't miss fried foods. It's not something I have to have. I won't miss bread. I'm not a big bread eater. I can't honestly remember when the last time I had bread was. Sugary drinks. I had a Coke today because we were out of Coke Zero. That's unusual for me to drink sugar drinks at all. More water than anything. But I got to do it. I can't deal with this anymore. Not like this. I want to be, what is normal? Well, I want to be it. I want to get to where I don't feel the way I feel now, where my clothes fit like a typical person's clothes fit. I mean, I'm a big, strong guy. I'm broad. I've got high strength levels, but I'm so tired. So, guys, if you're a Christian, I'm a Christian. If you are, keep me in your prayers. Um, it's I know it's going to be a tough walk, and I don't know how long I'll do, or how many videos or how often I will upload. But I'll try to do some from time to time that especially when I'm feeling like it, like now. I want to say something, and when I have something to say, I'll be on here. If you feel like subscribing to my channel, I can't promise it'll be a weekly thing. It might be, who knows. But anyway, thanks for taking the time out of your life to watch my video, and God bless.